Hey there. Hi, hi, hi. Hello, hello. It's Wednesday. It's a wonderful Wednesday. It's not, unfortunately for me, a warm Wednesday because you know I like my sunshine, but I'm still going to show up today on this gloomy, cloudy day and bring you the sunshine and the supplement that you need. We're going to talk about where you are deficient in your wellness and financial plan. Okay, we're going to talk about specifically how those two integrate. So in today's daily dose of vitamin D3, as you come on here, let me know you're here. Say hello, show me some love, and welcome, welcome, welcome to you. Listen, it is a rainy, cloudy, gloomy day, and I've been trying to get out here and take my walk. And every time I get ready to start my walk, it starts raining on me. So I figured, you know what? I can't take you on a walk with me today, but what I can do is cozy up in the car and have a cozy and comfy car conversation, and that's what we're going to do today on today's daily dose series or episode. Okay, so if you're feeling stuck like me, I'm going to turn off my notifications here. If you're feeling stuck like me right now, inside of a car, inside of a home, inside of your apartment, at work, wherever you are, at your business, if you're feeling stuck on this rainy day, then listen, we're going to use this time to brew up something warm and enriching, okay? And so we're going to be talking about designing your financial plans that not only secure your future, but also enhance your well-being right now. So we're talking today, the topic of today is integrating wellness into your financial planning, okay? Your financial plans, your financial planning. So as you may know, and if you don't know, if you're new here, let me just quickly introduce myself. My name is Katrina Marie here. Hey there. I am a holistic business coach and an RN health and wellness educator, and I teach high achieving women entrepreneurs, women over 40, women of color, women of the LGBTQ plus community, those who are working right now in the corporate environment. I teach you how to seamlessly transition to start your business online. And if you're already a seasoned entrepreneur, I teach you how to build an aligned and profitable online brand and business without compromising your soul and sanity, without sacrificing your soul and sanity or compromising your health and happiness. So in other words, we're prioritizing your health, healing, and happiness. And so that's why I'm always talking about wellness just as much as I'm talking about finances, right? Because they integrate, and I would be remiss to not mention anytime I do a live stream, really the principles that I live by, the philosophies that I teach, and the teaching methodologies that I use that I use as an approach to teach you and those who I work with, my clients, how to do exactly that, right? So I practice what I preach and teach, and I want to make sure that when I come on here, I'm also giving you what you need in the areas where you are deficient so that you can use this information that I'm giving you to supplement where it is you are deficient. That's the whole point of why we're doing these vitamin D3s. Even on a day like this where it's raining, I'm still showing up as your sunshine in this day, okay? Because you still can get this information. Now, I always get asked, because I have a few fellas that follow me here, and it's fine that you're in my audience, and what I teach on my live streams and what I teach in any of the content I put out can be utilized by men as well. A lot of what I say, a lot of what I share is also applicable to men. However, I am not speaking directly to men because those aren't the people I cater to. I exclusively work with women. There's a fire truck coming through here, so if it gets a little loud, I might have to pause a moment just so I can hear myself, but I hear the sirens. Okay, so that's pretty much where we are. And I just because people are always asking me, right? So I just want to be very clear on that you certainly can utilize this information. However, just know that I am speaking to my women, okay? So, all right, let's go ahead and get into it so we can keep this short and sweet. So the first thing I want you to know, we're going to talk about the importance of health investments. And what do I mean by health investments? What we're going to do is talk about investing in a comprehensive health insurance plan that can save you from any unforeseen medical circumstances, okay, or medical expenses, and help you to preserve your savings. See, what happens lots of times is people, unfortunately, not everybody, you would think, as important as it is to have insurance as a protection plan, that most people would have insurance. But there are people who are in certain circumstances that either choose between, their insurance versus maybe they're in a predicament where they've got to choose between, okay, am I going to put food in my fridge? Am I going to keep a roof over my head? Or I'm going to worry about insurance, right? So they may have insurance, like if you're working a job, you may feel like you have enough insurance in that regard, and that may very well be true. But I know there are a lot of business owners who don't necessarily have insurance once they leave or as they're making the transition, and that's not good. And I'm not just talking about health insurance, by the way. I'm talking about, and by health, I mean medical, vision, and dental. Okay. I'm also talking about life insurance. Okay. That is very, very necessary. And obviously, you want auto insurance, protection for your vehicle, right? If anything happens to you, then, or if you hit somebody, God forbid, and somebody was injured because of the impact of that, you certainly want to be insured. But I am specifically right now talking about your health insurance as it encompasses your medical, dental, and vision, okay? Because if anything happens to you and you had to be rushed to the hospital or even go to the urgent care, or you landed in the ER, God forbid if you had to be hospitalized, right? You were admitted and you don't have insurance, that's going to be a hell of a big bill. You know what I mean? So it's really going to be important for you to have some kind of insurance, even if it's just very basic, okay? So that you don't run up your medical expenses. Because let me tell you, by the time they get you in that urgent care and maybe decide that you've got to go to the ER because it's more emergent than it is urgent, and now you're running up the bill, right? Because now you've got to see, the doctors have to see you, right? Before you even get to the doctors, they're going to be working you up. That means they're going to be doing all kinds of diagnostic tests. Those x-rays, those CT scans, those PET scans, those MRIs, those are not cheap. They're very expensive, right? And then on top of that, you're going to get some blood work, right? The lab work. So, Kitten family, okay, thank you so much. I appreciate you being subscribed. Thank you for the love as well, and thanks for being here. You know what? I should have brought my water with me. I forgot. My throat is a little dry. So those are the things that I want you to make sure you level up in these areas, okay? We're talking about integrating your wellness plan with your financial plan, because there is a correlation between health and wealth. So that's the first thing I want you to make sure you have, is some even basic level of insurance, so that you're covered for just the basic, like, even if it's just for preventative care. Something may not happen to you, and I hope it doesn't, right? Where you land yourself in the hospital. However, even just going to see your primary care doctor or a specialist of some sort, I want to make sure that you know that there are plans out there that are available to you in the marketplace. Right now, while we still have it, there is the Affordable Care Act, right? Obamacare. So while that's still in place, go ahead or even look to see what else is in the market exchange that you can actually afford. You'd be surprised. You actually can afford some very basic coverage, just so that you can continue to see your primary care physician, any specialist that you need to see, so that you can go into the go and get your wellness checkups on a routine basis, okay? So that's the first thing. I want to make sure I include it. Okay, because I'm going to talk about this later. Okay, so that's the first thing. When you are going to, did I put that? Okay, yeah, I did. Okay, I want to make sure that I have it in one of my bullet points, because that's going to be important for me to mention. The other piece that I want to remind you of, I know what I said earlier. So I mentioned earlier that you also need to have life insurance. Now you can get term insurance, okay, or you can get permanent insurance. So term insurance is really good for a specific time frame. So, right, there's a 5-year plan, 10-year term, 15, 20-year term, I believe is like the max right now for most insurance companies. And there is a difference between the two. And the difference is really like, term is what I consider to be more or less like renting, whereas permanent insurance is more or less like owning, right? So what do I mean by that? What I mean by that is, If you get term insurance, like I said, it's going to last you for the length of time that you purchase the insurance. So if you purchased a 20-year plan, that's great. But as you age, as you get older, the insurance companies are going to increase that term insurance as it gets closer to your expiration date. Okay, because you're getting older, and as long as you're healthy, it will stay on the lower end. But suppose in that 20-year time span, you got, you had some chronic illness that you were dealing with, right? Or some chronic medical condition that you were dealing with on top of your age, and whatever else might be going on in your life, right? Those are the things that they're going to consider when they go through the underwriting process, and they're going to increase your monthly premium. So it gets quite expensive as you get older, even though it's locked in for that 20 years. And by the way, you're only going to be able to utilize the death benefits if something were to happen to you. Your family gets the death benefits, right? Your next of kin, your relatives, your beneficiaries. However, if you don't ever die within that period of time, thank God for that. However, nobody gets the benefits. That means you just paid into the what if factor. What if you died, or if you happen to pass during this time period, then your family gets the death benefits. Whereas if you have permanent life insurance, you have the ability to use that money, once it's built up. If you have a universal life plan or a whole life plan, okay, you can do the research on both, or talk to your insurance provider about that, because I'm not going to go into depth about that. However, do understand you can actually use that money and reinvest it into something that's going to give you back money, like give you your return on investment, right? So you actually essentially then are using the permanent life insurance as your own bank. And guess what? You take the money out and you put it back in without any interest. You pull it out without any interest, right? In other words, you don't owe anybody but you. It's your own bank, right? So you just need to make sure you're contributing to that account on a month-to-month basis. Now, there are differences as far as the expenses are concerned, but that's why we're going to talk about you putting this money aside for, as a part of your budget plan. Again, going back to the financial plan, you need to make sure you have money set aside so that you can afford these things, okay? So figure out what the price is by talking to your service provider, your insurance provider, right? And which one's going to benefit you more. Like I said earlier, you can have one or the other, or you can have both, okay? All right, do we have any questions on that? Doesn't look like it. Okay, now, the second thing in that I want to talk to you about are wellness retreats and gym memberships. So the benefits of both wellness retreats and gym memberships, both can be budget friendly, right? Regular wellness retreats and gym retreats can really significantly enhance your mental and physical health, right? And lead to fewer sick days and more productivity. So here's what I want to say. I want to give you an example. Last year, let's see, right at the top of last year, my mother and I've been with 24-Hour Fitness for a very long time. Many years, when way back before they were 24-Hour Fitness. They were like Family Fitness. So we are grandfathered in from that long ago to a very, very inexpensive plan for my entire family, my immediate family. And so we still have those benefits with that gym. But there isn't currently a gym near where, either of us live. So the closest one is maybe about 30 to 40-ish minutes out. And that almost feels like a chore when you have to travel that far to go to a gym, right? So what we decided to do instead, we both agreed that I'm just going to purchase a gym, a membership to a gym near us. So I went and I did some research. And also, I'm a member at Lifetime Fitness, which is an upscale membership, upscale gym, but they only have those gyms kind of sporadically throughout any given area that you live in. You'll usually find those gyms in a very affluent area. However, they don't have them in every single affluent neighborhood. So for me, the closest one would be about 45 minutes. Again, I don't want it to feel like a chore when I'm going to the gym, right? Because then it just kind of takes the fun out of it and I don't want to do it. So I'd rather just do something that's close to home or just get out in the world and just do my walk or whatever I'm going to do. Well, I found a gym last year, to speed up the story. Very nice gym, very nice. I'd never even heard of this gym, didn't even know it existed. And I decided to purchase a plan for me and my mom because they had such an amazing offer. Excuse me, they had such an amazing offer that I couldn't refuse. So I purchased a VIP plan, and with that came, I mean, when I tell you it was super budget friendly, like I couldn't even believe, I was blown away. They had some promo offers for sure. But even with that, oftentimes you'll go to these gyms, especially if it's a swanky kind of gym. That's the term I use anyway. I'm like, they have all of the high-end equipment and it's very high-tech and all of that, and that's great, but you're going to pay for that overhead, right? And you're going to pay for any personal trainers. That's going to be a lot extra. So I was expecting it to be a lot more than it was, but it turned out to be very affordable for the two of us. So honestly, I paid like $55 a month for the both of us for a VIP premium plan. And with that came access to all of the state-of-the-art equipment, access to all of the classes they had, the dance classes and Zumba and spin classes and all of that jazz. You get hot yoga with that. You get to use the infrared sauna. You get, or the saunas, plural. You get to use the hydro massage beds. If you've never used those, oh my gosh, that's like heaven, okay? A little slice of heaven. I love those machines. And then with that, we also were able to use their spa area, the jacuzzi, the pool. You can do the dry sauna. You can use the laser or the wet sauna. What is that called? So there's a dry sauna, and then I'm just going to call it the wet sauna. I can't remember, where there's a lot of mist and stuff coming in, so I can't remember the exact term. It might come to me and then I'll remember and I'll share that with you. But yeah, so all of these things, and that is for $50 to $5 a month. And because I bought the VIP premium plan, that allowed us to also have a personal trainer for $25 for an hour session. Like, that is unheard of, okay? And the trainer that I hired actually worked with specifically women over 40 and women who were a lot of nurses, okay? And women who were injured, right, on the job, like a lot of nurses are. So I have some chronic conditions from, like chronic low back pain and sciatica pain and those sort of things from when, back in my bedside nursing days, that are still with me today, that I still suffer from. And sometimes that pain is exacerbated. So it really pays for you to invest in yourself at that level, because my God, think about it. You go out to dinner with just you and maybe one other person, and you're going to spend easily more than $55 a month, or in one sitting, let alone $55 a month. Okay. A month for two people. That is super affordable. And you heard everything that we got with that plan. Okay. I'm not going to go on and on. I just have to tell you. So this was just so amazing. So it's such a great investment, and I feel so much better because, I get to be a part of this gym and engage and like utilize all of what I have access to. All right. Wellness coaching is the next thing I want to talk to you about. Okay. I got my notes right here. I want to talk to you about that because the financial and personal growth that you're looking for, the benefits of both you'll find the benefits of both by investing in a wellness coach. Okay. So the example I want to give here is that wellness coaches can really provide you with tailored advice to improve your overall well-being. Okay. That means they're going to help you stay on track and help you stay motivated to take inspired action each and every day. Right. And because of that, you'll also be able to have healthy financial goals as well. Okay. So when you're thinking about hiring a coach, you want to hire a coach that specializes in the area that you want to level up. So since we're talking today about leveling up in both our health and wealth, Health and wellness, yes, and our wealth. Um, and we want to integrate the two, then that means you would want to hire a financial advisor and you would want to hire a wellness coach, because both of them are going to keep you on track for you being healthy in both of these areas. Okay, so that's what I want to say about that. Since I spent so much time on the first bullet point, then I'm going to spend less time here, because I mean, that's kind of like just plain and simple. It is what it is. And I said what I said. Okay. So get yourself a good wellness coach. Go ahead and start researching how you can get a wellness coach, how you can get a financial advisor, someone you can consult with about them. But what do you need to do with your money? How can you, get in touch with, again, your insurance provider, so that you can figure out what's the best kind of insurance for you. You can also then talk to your financial advisor about what you're doing in that regard, right? And they can help you really strategize. And then your wellness coach, like I said, will keep you on track with your overall well-being. And that does include, by the way, your finances, okay? So even if you didn't get a financial advisor right now, get a wellness coach, a holistic wellness coach, like myself, okay? Yours truly. So the other thing I wanted to talk about, so we're talking about long-term financial benefits. Long-term financial benefits. So right now, what I want to explain to you is that maintaining good health can reduce long-term healthcare costs. Okay, so it's going to behoove you to make sure you have insurance first, right? Health insurance, as we talked about a little bit ago. Why? Because you want to make sure that you're going to have the ability to see your primary care physician or primary care doc, primary care provider, PCP, and or any specialist that you're going to need. Now, that's if you have a specific problem that you need to deal with, right? So, for example, I do have a healthcare team, right? I have a healthcare team for, to manage my pain. Of course, I have a primary care doctor who I see, who's an internalist, right? So she specializes in internal medicine. She also specializes in women who are, menopausal, perimenopausal, postmenopausal, or just menopausal, right? And she also specializes in hormone replacement therapy, HRT. So she's a specialist in a lot of areas. And she's also a specialist. Her husband, who's a doctor, they're both doctors, specializes in dermatology. So they have a spa and clinic combined where they've integrated. It's an integrated wellness clinic. So pretty much I can go there for just about everything I need, except a very specialized areas outside of those things. So if I need to see, a neurosurgeon, for example, or if I need to, and by the way, I'm not a surgical candidate at this point in time, and I don't want back surgery. So I'm just doing things holistically, right? Naturally, so that I can stay holistically well. And so I'm just doing more conservative therapy. So, PT, physical therapy, for example, that's considered conservative, right? I'm going on my walks on a daily basis. I'm getting my steps in. I'm eating clean and healthy. I'm a vegan. I do things to keep the inflammation down. So those sort of things. So I'm just doing things, taking a holistic approach. I go for massage therapy. I go to somebody who really knows the anatomy of the body, right? That understands the different modalities that they need to use on someone like me who has previous injuries. So that's what I mean by holistic. But I want to make sure that you're taking the preventative measures that are necessary to be able to take care of yourself and make sure that you are holistically well, right? So we're talking about your mental health, okay? Are you seeing a therapist at all? You don't need to see a therapist because you necessarily have problems, right? And I hope that you are not someone who has stigma around mental health and wellness, because I know that stigma does still exist, but I'm here to tell you that, gone are the days where we need to be concerned about what people think because we're going to see a therapist, right? Talk therapy is really, really great. And you can do that virtually. You can go in person and speak with someone. And you can, do it just simply like through text messaging and stuff. You could do telehealth. There are so many options, right? But I want to make sure that you should be also, doing checkups on yourself with regard to your mental health and well-being. Okay. So, especially if you're experiencing any stress, any burnout, any anxiety or depression. And even if you aren't, we want to prevent you from getting there. Okay. So that's going to be important for you to know. The other thing is, it's getting a little dark because the clouds are kind of passing over. So sunshine is trying to peek through, and then the clouds are kind of overpowering. So the next thing I want to make sure that you're taking care of is your medical stuff. Okay. So you've got your mental well-being that we need to do, mental checks for. And then there's a whole checklist of things that you need to do for your medical concerns. So that means we're not just waiting to go to the doctor or waiting to go to the urgent care, the ER, when we have a problem, right? Now, I know unforeseen circumstances happen, and you may very well be someone who has to go to the urgent care or to the doctor when there's a problem, or to go, to the ER or something like that if something major happened. I understand that, okay? Those are things that we may not be able to do anything about until it happens because it's an acute situation. But before we even get to that, we need to make sure that we are on a routine and frequent basis going for our preventative wellness care, right? That means before something happens, we want to prevent the things that could potentially happen. So what does that look like? That looks like you going to get your wellness checkups, right? Women in particular, and those of you who are men here who follow me, you need to do the same. There are separate checklists for women compared to what men need to be seen for, but you still need to go for your annual checkups, okay? So what we do have in common, okay, first of all, what's specific to women would be our well woman exam, right? Our mammos, our pap smears, and that sort of thing. Whereas for men, you're going to go for your check, your cancer screenings, like your prostate cancer, colon cancer. You want to get those kinds of things checked. Women over 50 will also need to get a colonoscopy as well. And then, of course, both of us can get cancer screenings as far as skin cancer. Okay. And yes, just so you know, brown skinned people do, even though we have a lot of melanin in our skin, which protects us against the sun rays, the sun is still harsh. And if you spend a lot of time outdoors, you absolutely can get skin cancer. So you do just want to get checked for that. Of course, then there are other things that we have in common. Cardiovascular disease. We want to make sure that we're checking our cardiovascular health, that we're doing any diabetes screening, right? Our A1Cs, making sure, what that looks like. What's our average blood sugar over a 3-month period of time? We need to make sure that, we're doing our lab work, right? And that we're getting different blood work done so we can check on, what our electrolytes look like, right? And what does our chemistry in our body look like, right? What we want to make sure that we're doing all of those things. And if, of course, you do have any situations come up, like, you have some chronic pain that you're dealing with and it feels like it's gotten worse, then you want to make sure that you get an x-ray for that, or an MRI more than likely, right? Because an x-ray can't see soft tissue. So I don't want to get too deep on the medical stuff, but especially when I'm talking, I try to keep my conversations in layman's terms so that everybody can understand. However, so I won't use all the medical jargon, but the bottom line is just make sure you're getting yourself checked, okay? And all the ways that you possibly can get yourself checked. I think for the most part, I've named just about everything. And then anything in addition to that, your doctor will tell you what you need. If you need, a full workup, then they're going to explain to you exactly what that is. All right. I think that's it on that one. Yeah. So basically the biggest takeaway message on that is really that preventative health measures can decrease the likelihood of chronic diseases, which are expensive to manage and can drain your financial resources. Okay. So make sure that you're taking care of yourself preventatively. Go ahead and open this now since it's not raining at this moment and the sirens have passed. Okay, so hopefully that's helpful so far. If you're getting value from this, by the way, or any of the content that you watch here on my channel, let me know. I would really appreciate it. Drop some gems in the chat or in the comment if you're watching this on the replay, if you're getting value from this. Also, be sure to subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss a single episode whenever I go live, which is right now on a 90-day sprint, okay? Ends this month, but right now I'm going live Monday through Friday. And I am dropping 3 videos a week. So be sure, if you're not subscribed, that you subscribe today if this is the kind of content that you enjoy, okay? All right, so the next thing that I want to talk to you about, let me make sure that I didn't skip anything. Okay, great. The last thing I want to talk to you about, as we're approaching about 30 minutes, and I try to keep these conversations on average to about 30 minutes, is incorporating wellness into your budgeting, okay? So I want you, I alluded to this earlier, and what I want you to focus on right now when we're done here is to really, or when you have some time, is to really make it a priority to allocate your funds, a portion, a percentage of what you make, your income, to these things that we talked about today, especially if you do not have insurance right now, right? Health insurance, medical insurance, dental insurance, vision insurance. You want to make sure, and I didn't mention that earlier, but to go back to your preventative care, that should also include your vision, right? Eye health. Are you able to see well? Has your vision changed? Do you need new glasses, new contact lenses? Have you gotten the health of your eye checked? You want to make sure that you don't have cataracts or glaucoma or any, if you have had a detached retina, but those kinds of things. You want to check the health of your eye as much as the vision. How well you can see and that sort of thing, and what you need to do as far as the corrective action, right? So corrective lenses, for example. All right, and then dental work. So do you need any dental work? If not, you should at least be going in at the very minimum for your cleanings, right? And x-rays, and to make sure everything still looks good. So those are the kinds of things that you should be setting money aside. Now, if you work a 9-to-5, again, you may have these benefits. But if you're someone who's going to be transitioning to a full-time business, or at least running your business on the side while you are working a 9-to-5, you want to make sure that you are fully covered, so you can at least be doing your due diligence and checking out what kind of insurance you might need and what will be at an affordable cost to you that's on the market exchange right now with some of these private insurances or commercial plans, and just start looking into what you can actually afford, right, in comparison to what you are paying into your insurance plan now. So whatever your premium price is right now, or your current policies are, compare that to what's on the market, and then you'll already know, oh, they do have a lot of affordable options, and start looking into it. Go ahead and call the different providers, right, the insurance providers and the health plans, and ask them questions about the plan and who does that need to cover. Does it need to cover just you? Does it need to cover you and a family member? Do you have you and your spouse, or you and a significant other? And in addition to maybe a child who's still under the age of 26 that could still be covered. Like, who do you need to put on your plan? And that's going to determine what you need to put aside when you finally are making money in your business, as you're making the transition and when you transition full time. Okay. So make sure you're setting aside a specific amount of money on a monthly basis, right? From your income, so that, and then make sure that you're putting this all on your budget sheet, right? You should have some sort of Excel spreadsheet. We've talked about this before, or some way to track your expenses. And in that column, right, where we're listing what the expenses are, wellness related activities should be in one of those columns, right? So that you can set aside the certain amount, the dollar amount that you need in order to cover your family or yourself if it's just you. Okay? This is going to ensure that these areas won't be overlooked, so that you won't look up one day and be like, oh my God. And especially if you're laid off, God forbid that happens to you. But if you're fired, terminated, discharged, laid off, whatever, from your job, guess what? They'll give you coverage, temporary coverage, which is COBRA. And if you do not know anything about COBRA, I would highly recommend that you start looking into COBRA, to understand that what's on the market exchange is far less expensive than what COBRA is going to charge you. Okay? COBRA is hell of expensive. So make sure that you don't wait for that day to come, because that's going to really put you in a pinch, right? Because I'm not saying you won't be able to afford COBRA, but will it be worth it? As compared to, okay, that's a little bit much, as compared to, what you would have to pay if you were to look on what the exchange has to offer. So just again, do your homework, start getting into it, doing your research to make sure that you can actually be prepared for any event, change of events or unforeseen circumstances that might occur. And even if it doesn't, and you're in charge and you are able to do this on your terms, do it anyway, because you want to be well prepared, because we're planning on making that transition, right? Or you might already be fully working towards that full-time transition into growing your business. Okay. All right. I think that's it for the valuable insights I have today, but this is how you're going to boost your health and wealth, and how you're going to create a wellness focused financial plan, and integrating both so that you can live holistically well. And that's what this is all about. And if you need help with that at all, don't hesitate to reach out to me. We can do a customized plan for you specific to your needs. Now, I'm not an insurance provider, right? You're going to have to talk to your own insurance provider, or find one, and I'm certainly not your nurse, right? I'm not on your healthcare team. I'm not your doctor or anything like that. And I'm not your financial advisor. Those are specific professionals and experts that you're going to need to talk about your current situation and scenario. I'm here to help you with your holistic needs. I'm here to help you to start and grow and set up to scale an online, profitable, and aligned business. Okay. And by alignment, I mean it's in alignment with your passion and purpose. It's also a profitable business, right? We need to create sustainable businesses. And so if you need help, starting it as a side business while you're working your full-time job, if you need to find a way to just seamlessly transition full-time to your business, whatever the case might be, that's what I'm here to help you do, okay? And I'm here to help you do that while you are prioritizing once more your health, healing, and happiness. So I hope you found this valuable. And if you did, then thank you so much for tuning in, and keep coming back for more. I'm going to tune out while you tune in. Be sure to share this video out with at least 3 friends. Make sure that you go back and watch the replay if you didn't see the full thing from the beginning, okay? And do take notes and get started in this process if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you being here as always. And until next time, I am wholeheartedly in this journey with you. Bye for now.